Thank you. It's a bit delayed.
Well, you already introduced.
Yeah, you
I guess you
already
can
did.
just.
You can do it too.
Mackenzie.
Emily.
Bryan-Joseph. And we're talking about dating apps and how it relates to public. So let's get to know you folks. First off, if you can you go to this link real quick?
Is
It's
it
a poll
with
everywhere.
laptop or?
Both, yeah, it's a poll everywhere.
Hmm.
You could give your answers out loud if you want, if you feel comfortable.
Was it slash?
Oh, you could just go to this.
Oh, Polab. Polab.com/btamayo184. It's on the upper left.
Living on the fossil. I really need this whole workshop. So I put that in.
In the search bar, yeah. Polab.com/btamayo. Oh, okay. 100% of the people answered no. Ooh, okay, someone else.
Spicy. Oh.
Yeah, they didn't want to present on it.
I applaud you for using Polab. One more product.
Jay just answered.
Alright. That's surprising. I guess most of us have used it. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Alright.
Does that reflect what you think is the college use?
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
although I
just-
feel like now it's getting more shifting from sex app to actual like dating and flirting relationships.
Is a dating app the same as a dating site?
It's
Generally.
yeah, generally the same concept, but it's through like an application on your phone. It's more mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess for online sites, it attracts like older people, and then apps are like
Are more directed towards. Although and then we have one more that should be even more interesting.
Yes. Kind of like a word cloud, so you can probably just go to the same link, just refresh it.
that's a different question.
Yeah. Just
It's
refresh
a
it.
different question.
Oh,
Why or why not have
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Give yourself a lady.
She doesn't get the concept of.
We'll have another tutorial.
Oh, right.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so I guess we got a general idea. Well, we're gonna talk about like if we use dating apps. Me personally, I've never used dating apps. I never really felt the need to. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I'd rather meet the person, but at the same time, I do have some social consciousness. I'm kind of afraid to put myself out there, so yeah, that's why I never use dating apps. How about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I feel like at first when they first came out, it was like a sex app, and that was what was like the connotation around it. So I always felt like embarrassment. I felt like, oh no, I couldn't be on there. And then it kind of fell into where, like Brian said, I kind of just met people in person and fell into relationships or meeting people. So I feel like I've never really gotten the chance to use it in this sense.
Yeah, same. Well, I haven't used it personally because, like, I'm not into the whole profile building aspect of it, and also like talking on an app and then like actually having to meet them in real life. That could be kind of like
Never mind.
Yeah, so I don't know, I didn't use it because of that.
So what are dating apps? Basic gist of it, it's a mobile application. It uses or takes advantage of like everyone has a smartphone these days. And smartphones they have like capabilities like GPS, photo galleries and all that stuff. So basically these photo apps they take advantage of your GPS location, um, digital photo access, and then the fact that it's so accessible and on hand at all times, even for younger kids. This is pretty much done in order to simplify like the dating process, when looking for potential partners. And through these apps, users can potentially chat, flirt, maybe hook up, or if they're actually serious about it, they can get into other relationships and be romantically involved with other users that they eventually match with.
So I'm going to kind of go through a tutorial on how to use dating apps. We're going to show you how to use Bumble and give you a little bit more information about Bumble. So the first step is to start building your profile. I said buzz because their mascot and their theme are bees. So when you download, you'll get okay. So over here, that'll be the first thing that comes up. Although right before that, it does let you give you the option to link it with another social media platform. This option was to do it just with an email, so whatever you want. So then you'll go to building your profile. So be creative and use pictures that highlight who you are as a person. So this person here, you can see they're at the beach. That gives you the impression that that's something that they like to do for fun. So you want to choose as little or as many as you want, although you can only go up to 6 photos. Make sure they are realistic, and I say no catfishing because there can be people who use filters on their pictures or they heavily edit them, and then when you meet in person, it'll be a disappointment because they don't look like what you thought that they look like.
So is catfishing, that's what that means?
Yeah, that's a term, yeah. So, yeah, you're hiding kind of your real identity behind a computer or a phone. Yeah, sorry, catfishing, yes. And then this is also super important. Have at least one photo that is only you. Because if you do have a lot of group photos, then it gets confusing about who you actually are. Yeah. So then you're going to give some basic information to add to your profile, and you should always be honest. So it'll ask you, who you identify as, man, woman. More options could be cisgender, transgender. So it is LGBTQ friendly. Add your birthday, and then add your first name only, kind of like a privacy thing. And then add a recovery email just in case you get locked out or something like that. And that it could also confirm that you. Add your password, and you're ready to start buzzing and meeting people. So you want to answer some questions that give insight about your interests. So over here, these are just 3 that were listed, although there's a bigger list of questions that you could choose to answer. And then over here, with your answers, they're freehand, so you can put whatever you want. So beach or mountains, your answer could be beach with a view of the mountains, or nightclub or Netflix. Maybe you prefer to go to the nightclub and then watch Netflix later on. Favorite quality in a person, again, you can put whatever you want. Humor is a big one. Then this is like a description box about me. You could give some insight who you are. You could say where you're from, some more of your interests that aren't listed, anything you want, just a description. And then, of course, some work and education, which kind of gets into more basics over here that will help you kind of match with people or have profiles show up based on some similarities. So you can put in your height, whether or not you exercise, your star sign, education level, smoking, which I thought was really cool kind of because some people who aren't smokers don't want to date smokers, or vice versa. If you have pets, what you're looking for, again, Bumble is for more than just dating. If you have kids, religion, your political views, all things that are kind of usually core values to people that will kind of help give some insight. So then we come across this screen, and So Bumble is meant to be a respectful way to meet potential significant others as well as friends. It's built on kindness, empowerment, and respect, and that's promoted, although it's not always followed. You can't always control what people are going to say in conversation. So you do have to be prepared for some unwantedness. But then, which is super unique about Bumble is women message first, which I'll get into a little bit more. So then, yeah, you want to give some quick information on what you're looking to get out of Bumble, whether you're looking strictly to date, something romantic, something just as a hookup, new friends, maybe you're new to an area and you don't know anyone, you want to use Bumble to find new friends, or even networking. You could use it kind of in your professional life a little bit, although I don't know how professional Bumble sounds right now, but you can use it to network. So yeah, again, it's not just for sex, and then it gives you some options, men, women, or everyone, or who you want to connect with. So again, ladies have the power, and over here it says, in our highs, ladies make the first move. Gone are the days of dead end matches and unwanted messages. On Bumble Date, the ladies have 24 hours to make the first move or the match will expire. So that is if you match with someone, they like your profile, you like their profile, it'll come up in a section, and the woman, again, just in like the dating aspect, has 24 hours to send the first message to get a conversation started. Once those 24 hours are up, it gets expired and that match goes away, which is super cool. Although I'm pretty sure that there's a way for the guy to pay to extend the time in a hope. So if they do that, maybe just give them a high, just because they paid, they really want to. Anyway, so yeah, and then swiping left means that you are not interested in someone's profile, and swiping right means you are interested in getting to know them better. And then when you first start out, it'll come up. If you're not interested, it'll make sure that you swipe the right way. So yeah, and then in case if you swiped left on someone that you may have been interested in getting to know further, but it was a mistake, no worries, you can shake your device and it will go back to that profile. Although you only get 3 of those. So it's not like you have to be careful.
Ever or like in a 24-hour period?
Ever. I'm sure you could probably buy more, but it is a business.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah. Okay, and then so last but not least, again, Bumble is used for more than just dating. So they're trying to build it up to be more than just a sex app. You can meet friends and even network with people in your area. There are options to switch from dating to Bumble BFF, which is friends, and Bumble Biz, which is super cool. So again, not just for sex. Emily? Oh, yeah.
So for all of the other apps, it's also the female that
No, that's unique to Bumble. Bumble is female, yeah, and that's kind of, I feel like that's more empowering, and Bumble is more of very promoted with like respect and kindness.
But that's like you said, you have Bumble Biz and Bumble
Yes.
BFF. So for those other two, also the female who
No. The female only has the message first for the dating aspect. The other ones, yeah, it's either or.
So when used properly, dating apps can have a lot of health benefits, including to it being a less stressful process when it comes to dating. Dating apps are usually more efficient and it's very convenient for people who are always on the go. And it's an easy way, a lot of newer dating apps like Bumble, their system, it's an easy way to vet people. So a lot of times only your mutual friends will pop up and it'll give you a lot of basic information that you normally would want to know about the person. And lastly, it takes off pressure from those people who are more introverted or shy. They don't really want to go out and like have to confront the person and like talk to them about it. Even though you should be honest. And then second, self-esteem. It really bolsters self-esteem, confidence, and happiness when you get a match. when someone swipes left on you, I guess. And
Right. Right is
Right,
right,
right.
left is you're getting left behind. That's
okay. Yeah. So, it makes someone feel good about themselves and it opens up a new possibility of building a new relationship. And then the aspect of building positive, healthy relationships through dating apps, not just intimate ones, but like friendships and all that. And it also empowers both men and women. So Bumble's all about in their mission and all that. They want to talk about going away from traditional power dynamics and promoting equality from the start of initiating interaction between both genders.
That contradicts the fact that the female has to initiate. I mean, it's not really clear.
Yeah, well, I guess when they mean equality and like women making the first move, it's not so much like forcing the woman to make the first move, but like, the guy doesn't always have to reach out to her. It's like she's in control of like saying yes or no, that type of.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of issues that you find on the internet and people that use these dating apps is that they are getting unwanted messages, and unfortunately, according to just statistics, it's generally the men who are coming forward with the unwanted messages, maybe like being a little too sassy up front, or so Bumble was kind of just a way to offset that a little bit and stand out and be different from other sites like Tinder or Grindr or I guess some other ones, like the online dating ones.
Like, yeah, they're all about like saying that they're providing like a safe environment for women, like dating on like a dating app. It's different from like Tinder, where usually males come forward more often.
And it kind of gets girls out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
So like, traditionally, guys are kind of expected to make the first move, but it's 2019. Girls can speak up.
Harm self by dating apps. First one, hooking up. So basically, there is a negative stigma when it comes to dating apps. It's usually frowned upon because people use it to hook up, or people do you know what and you know where. Yeah. Yeah. In general, you get the idea. And although it's very rare, but depending on who you're hooking up with, there's a risk of possibly getting an STD because you don't know if your partner's tested or they haven't mentioned it to you. So there's no knowledge about that. Just be careful. Self-doubt. Protection, yes. So self-doubt. People use the apps in hopes of finding a partner or building a relationship with someone. And usually when people get swipe lefted on, kind of hurts their self-esteem a bit. They begin to doubt themselves. Maybe they might fall into depression. And because it's very photo and appearance based on these apps, they begin to question themselves. Why am I not good enough? What can I do to impress this girl? So forth. Yeah. And there's also hate crimes. A lot of personal information is out there when it comes to apps, so be careful what you want to share. So like a lot of users, they use these apps to lure victims. In cases like these, victims are usually physically or sexually assaulted, and they're often targeted because of their race, sexual orientation, or people just have other personal vendettas against them. So the first case is from Grindr. If you're not familiar with Grindr, it's basically a dating app similar to like Tinder and Bumble, but it's mainly targeted for gay men. So as you can see, two men, they were charged with conspiracy to commit hate crimes because they kidnapped, and then they created a fake Grindr account, and they lured victims to their apartment complex. And through that, these victims, they were beaten, they were robbed, and then they were just assaulted. And yeah, it's crazy. And the age is 19 to 57, so even on the older end, a lot of people are getting lured in by these apps. Case 2 was from Tinder. 21-year-old man has been charged with sexually assaulting and molesting an 11-year-old girl. The 11-year-old girl, she created a profile and she said she was 16 years old. So a lot of the profiles that you see there, they're not honest. They're just looking for someone. And they met at a movie theater where he eventually raped her. And because of that, the 11-year-old, she was very scared. She was traumatized. And she felt that she had to keep communicating with the abuser in order for her safety. So yeah, a lot of fake crimes can happen, so just be careful. And I believe that is it.
Yeah, so I think you did, I mean, you see there's obviously pros and cons, and I think the probably number one message to take away is to be careful on any social media platform. You obviously want to be as honest as you can, but you can't control what other people are putting on their profiles and what they're putting out there. So just proceed with caution and don't meet up with anyone in a private place where you don't feel safe. So yeah, that's
I got a question, maybe for one of the others. So this is one of those things that people are just gonna do it, right? And so maybe the next best approach to protect people would be like harm reduction.
harm reduction. I love harm reduction.
What would you there's so many to choose from. What could you recommend as among the safest or safer?
So I always would say I have a friend back home who she uses it, although I know she hasn't ever met up with someone. I think it's partly because she kind of feels like a little funny and probably nervous. So what I suggested for her to do was if she does meet up, maybe invite that person to hang out with a group of your friends in a public setting. I definitely don't recommend going on just a date with just that person by yourself, at least the first time you meet them. I mean, when you start to build trust, but maybe start off in a group setting, and then as you get to know the person more, you could.
Yeah, or you could meet up in like restaurants and maybe have your friends be in the restaurant.
Yeah, no,
Or
yeah,
go somewhere.
yeah, stuff that will make
Right.
you definitely public settings,
Have an emergency
at least
call.
at first. Yeah, have like a code if I message you this, or if you go to the bathroom and message kind of. Like if one of my friends is doing, like, just let me know, I'll call, it could be an emergency.
So this is one of the things that HBU has also been thinking about with the Stuff Life and encouraging, and they do a lot of campaigning and encouraging students, especially female students, that if you go to the bar and maybe in the case that you're on your own, maybe you could hopefully you'll be comfortable enough to let the wait staff or the bartender know after you're meeting up with
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, I see on the back of bathroom stalls sometimes in bars and nightclubs, there'll be a sign and it'll say, like, hey, are you having a bad date? Have you just met someone? Go to the bar and ask for this drink. Or,
It's like an angel something,
yeah,
right?
I think it's like, or ask for Angela, or.
It's Angel something.
Angel something.
Angel
Oh, okay, yeah, then maybe it's, yeah, and then you ask and they'll know to get you in a safe area or security, and then if you want, you could, report them.
We were talking about that, and then we were saying, just be careful, because your date might know what an angel shot means, you know?
Yeah,
And so-
yeah, no, yeah, now totally, you might still have the same thing in the back of their bathroom stall. Yeah, but, there are ways, I'm sure, if you kind of sneak off and you're like an angelic shot, that's different. Same vibe, but, yeah. Any more questions? Okay, sweet.
Thank you very much.